Welcome to the winners interviews of this year's Inside Market Data and Inside Reference Data Awards. Now, dxFeed won the award for the most innovative market data project. And today I'm joined by Antonio Goncalves, who is Senior Vice President of Sales and Business Development at dxFeed. Welcome, Antonio, and congratulations to you and to dxFeed for this win.
Thank you, Victor, and good morning from beautiful Miami. We wanted to reaffirm we're very grateful, very appreciative, and very honored with the award we received from WatersTechnology.
Yeah, absolute pleasure. Now, Antonio, dxFeed won this award thanks to its unusual options activity screener, or UOA screener. Can you briefly explain what the offering is and why it was developed in the first place?
The offer was developed in response to late last year's market events, specifically with the GameStop and other similar volatility that happened in the market, and some of it had or was related to, well, some market manipulation, but also to some social media influence. And what we thought was this was all very unusual that such a movement would take place. And we saw and monitored it and clearly identified that prior to the actually movements and volatility in the underlying stocks was an unusual activity in the options market. So we correlated, because we have very, very strong analytics in place that constantly monitor the market real time. We correlated an unusual movement in the options market to the catastrophe that then happened later on in the equities market. So we thought that we had actually in place a type of technology that combined, different applications combined, could effectively warn the market and the investors about that precursor to the volatility in the equity space, that precursor movement in the options market. So we combined our real-time data feed business, specifically for OPRA, with a powerful script that allows to define search parameters and query parameters and analytic parameters with a machine learning type of application that then is able to identify, segregate, alert, and trigger mechanisms to warn for selected symbols or for the entire universe that specific activity that could be a precursor for again, a movement similar to what we experienced last year. And so, again, what makes from the technology perspective, it so innovative is that you combine the real-time options data paired with the underlying market data from the CTA, UTP, standard market feeds, with unusual events criteria defined by using this powerful script mechanism, almost like our own script language and the market, and with proprietary artificial intelligence, and the integration of all of these with analytical solutions that we have deployed in other clients and have deployed in the past 2 years, such as a dxFeed scanner and the dxFeed alert. On top of that, we supported this with an historical data infrastructure that allows to do simulations and comparisons with what happened in the past. So real time, we're able to compare what is happening and simulate with specific periods. Let's go back to October or late summer last year when the GameStop event was happening. We can compare and say, okay, I think we have a similar event happen. This is very unusual. We can warn our clients, and the service will warn our clients that for symbol ABCD, it is likely that something like this happens. So this is an example where our machine learning and artificial intelligence and innovative practice have added tremendous value to existing services.
Okay, so let's drill down a little bit more into what you've just been discussing, and stay on that theme and look at what the URA allows its users to do that they wouldn't ordinarily be able to do, because that's, I think, a key kind of aspect of any product or service in the marketplace, is it's got to have an application to the day-to-day kind of workflows and operations within the financial services industry. So how, Antonio, how does it, the product, enhance the options workflows and business in general of the clients that have actually deployed the solution?
So we have launched an option scanner. It's actually embedded in some of the top retail brokers. I think people know that we're behind TD Ameritrade technology, but also the option scanner of E-Trade and other brokers is based on DevExpert's technology. So we've had that option scanner capability that allows the definition. There is a library with predefined parameters that go scan for certain market conditions. There is another product that we have that matches very seamlessly, very well, which is the alerts, which is once those parameters and that library of standard parameters available to the end user is identified, they immediately send an alert with a possibility of executing or not certain predefined trading activities. Now, the new thing here is that we add this layer of user interface, which is the dxScript, which is a language, very simple language that allows a end user with software experience, but not too much of a software experience, with some expertise, to actually create their own private and specific libraries of parameters. If you want their own algorithm, their own secret sauce, but this is available for every single retail user, allows that user to construct and adapt to his own options trading strategy, the scanning of the particular parameters. Now, this is all available through one single interface that combines the predefined parameters with the script functionality. And then we edit, as I mentioned to you, and that is not as much for the unusual options. That's a artificial intelligence module that is behind the scenes, but that is able to zero in, besides the parameters and the algorithms that I have constructed as an individual to search for market conditions, is able to go compare and extract an alert for those unusual activities that are precursors in the market. So you have a very powerful interface that offers the analytics, the ability to query, the ability to scan, and the ability to define parameters based on a very simple language, a script language. And that is unique. It's a unique solution across all data providers. Typically, data providers focus either on the delivery of data, and you have companies that's all they do is deliver both real-time and historical data feeds. Then there are companies that do analytics in the option space. Companies like Hannock and others that are now part of CBOE, et cetera, they are traditional, powerful data analytics. Then you have companies that do scanning and alerts, but they're all different companies concentrating on a specific application. And DevExperts is the only company that is able to combine and use all of these as a service to provide a very custom solution for each individual or each company with a wide array of technological service. We also offer charting, for instance, that typically you also have to go to a different company to get. So we combine all of those as components that can be brought together, and with one interface access all of these different services. So that's the key differentiator for the end user.
Okay, good. Lynn, now let's talk a little bit about the future. And what will dxFeed be focusing on over the course of the next 12 to 18 months? Is there anything specific in the work, so to speak, that the firm is particularly excited about right now?
There is, absolutely there is. So the DeFi area, and specifically institutional grade DeFi as a distribution mechanism on blockchain,
right,
for individual symbols of any different feeds. That is one of our big projects. We already have in Chainlink a node and are able to distribute that, but we're going to expand to other networks and work on making what we really believe is a democratization of the access to data by pricing, all the way to the instrument, the service of data. We could all expand that with powerful analytics, but the distribution of data via decentralized finance platforms and blockchain platforms for us is a very exciting topic for the next 2 years. Mm-hmm. Now, this is a movement that has already started, so we already have, but I think it's a movement that has great capability to expand, and therefore we're putting a lot of effort into it. Mm-hmm. Another one is the fact that we have actually constructed a index lifecycle automation platform that basically automates the complete life cycle, from the methodology design, from the calculation, from the rebalancing, from the publishing. It allows anybody to construct an index. So we are also democratizing the access to the ability to construct indices. We know that today that the indices market is very dominated by a very few players and has to do with the brand. But if you look at the technology in the silos that they have inside all of these large index companies, they're all almost very similar in the sense that there is a methodology team, and then there is a documentation team, and then there is a rebalancing team. So we streamline all of that, and we started calculating, being a calculation agent, but more importantly, we have a quant team that started creating indices, and we're helping companies create crypto indices, real estate indices, volatility indices. For instance, we work with companies like SmallX, where we will help launch the treasury indices, like MyX, where we help launch some of their latest indices. So we very much believe in the growth of proprietary index space with the ability to streamline, automate the technology. And this is especially valuable when you face very strong volatility, market volatility conditions that need that rebalancing of the index almost instantaneously. And again, we do that by leveraging the real time with the historical, comparing, seeing the results, and immediately alerting for the rebalancing of the index, almost real time. So this is a technology that we think is going to grow and that we're very, very bullish on. And finally, we have built visualization tools. We've been very successful. For instance, we're behind in helping from the data side of companies such as Bookmap that has now hundreds of thousands of users. It's a level 2 book visualization. Is very powerful, but there's a lot of companies coming into the market with this type of applications. We believe, and we have a practice for augmented reality and virtual reality, and we believe that AR/VR can and eventually will. It's been a slow moving market because of the lens, the development technology. the HoloLens development technology, but we're seeing companies like Microsoft and others putting a lot of effort into it. I believe that we're going to be able to see all of what today is a desktop or a web interface or even a mobile interface in a AR, VR mechanism. We're very bullish about that too.
Interesting times indeed, and I'll certainly keep an eye out on all these new initiatives that you guys will be bringing to market in the foreseeable future. That just leaves me to thank you very much, Antonio, for your time, and to congratulate you again and the business as well for this win in this year's Inside Market Data and Inside Reference Data Awards.
Thank you very much, Victor. A great pleasure, always at your service.
Good.